Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
and best friends Terry Gamble
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and sub-subgenres,
classic and cult,
international
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up Horror Movie Survival Guide tips
to help you stay alive. Another beautiful week, another beautiful day. Let's talk about these lovers.
Let's do it. Hello, Disco Citizens. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide. I am Julia.
And I'm Terry.
And this week we're talking about 2013's Only Lovers Left Alive. Title of this episode is I Think the World Has Enough Chaos. Tagline for this movie, Cool People Never Die. Written by Marion Bassey and Jim Jarmusch, who also directed the movie.
Yeah.
I do have alternate years casting for you. When this was first announced it was going forward, it was going to be Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah.
And he was replaced, obviously, by Tom Hiddleston.
Uh-huh.
I would have liked to have seen the Fassbender Tilda Swinton Sparks.
Oh, I bet they have great chemistry. But this was one of the first things I remember seeing Tom Hiddleston in, and I was like, hello, sir. One of my dear friends, actually Joe pins on his cousin, Jenny V. What's up, Jenny V? Shout out to you. This is her favorite movie. And she made me watch it with her when I went to go visit her in Hawaii. Okay. And I adore it. So, yeah.
So we open on a vinyl 45, so you got me going in right in. And we have Adam.
On Funnel of Love.
Funnel of Love.
Wanda Jackson. Gorgeous.
And so Adam is buying a guitar from Ian, his Renfield of sorts.
He's the procurer of strange instruments and random other shit. Yeah, he's adorable. And Anton,
I know.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Anton Yelchin. He's so good in this. And I like his little here, like, oh, you're not going to be wonderfully rewarded, kid. Sorry. No. It's interesting, though, because he kind of has a Renfield. Christopher has a Renfield, but she does not. We don't see her Renfield if she does.
She kind of doesn't. She relies a lot on their friend Marlowe. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's kind of her way of like circumventing it. I think she also has like, of course it's Tilda, she always has an otherworldly thing about her, but I feel like she's like almost above being a vampire. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean though? Like she's like ascended to like whatever the next level is beyond that, at least energetically speaking, even if physically she's still stuck having to consume some sort of blood to survive.
Yes. So Adam plays incredible music, but he won't play live. He wants to remain anonymous. So Ian is his go-to in like getting the stuff out. He said he wants Ian to get him a bullet made out of wood for a secret art project.
Yeah, the secret art project sounds like suicide. It's not sounding like it's going to be a real art project unless he's going to film it in some sort of way. But it doesn't feel like he will because he is such a Luddite. This is like everything in this movie. I think is just so sumptuous. Like his apartment and everything that he's built around him. All these gadgets and gears. He's made all these inventions basically that are like mechanized ways of handling things around his home and not throwing away a damn thing. He uses everything and anything that comes into his space.
Meanwhile, so he is in Detroit, but Eve is in Morocco in Tangier, and she goes to a cafe at night all wrapped up to see Bilal, who is the Renfield of Christopher Marlowe, who we meet, who is John Hurt. And what a great Marlowe.
It's a perfect Marlowe, right? And I imagine if one of these guys from the era was a vampire. I feel like there's another show. I forget the name of it right now. It's on Shudder, I believe. Anyway, there's a vampire that's like from that era, and he's like, oh yeah, I was friends with those guys too. And like, of course, got to touch history. I feel like it's like the Forrest Gump kind of moments, those things, pieces of history that these vampires get to be a part of. And they have a beautiful kind of conversation, but you can tell that times have been getting harder for these people to procure what they need. It sounds like there's something wrong with the blood supply in some way of them trying to get the things like the blood that they need to survive.
I think they just want blood without any medication in it or drugs in it. And getting that is harder and harder as people are on more and more medications. So obviously, the 1700s, it wasn't a problem. But now you're like, raise your hand how many people in a group of 100 are on something.
Everybody.
Pretty much everybody
is on something to aid them in this beautiful life that we are living. And so he's very fragile and he's, not looking his best either. And so they've been having a harder and harder time. But then we cut back to Detroit to Adam and he goes on a mission. So basically, everybody kind of in the evening is doing what they need to do to get the sustenance, the blood,
Yeah,
to
so
survive.
Marlowe has a French doctor that procures the good stuff for him and her, and also Adam, his shtick is he goes dressed as a doctor to the hospital to pick up from a clerk there.
Incredible Jeffrey Wright. Oh my God, I love him so much.
She's so suspicious of him, and he's like, ugh.
Well, he's Dr. Watson, which I love, and then we got Faust and Watson, which I love that everything's kind of got this old timey, like these names and stuff like that too. So, yeah.
And he pays him a good chunk of cash, and he's like, well, maybe we could predetermine it so you don't just sneak up on me. And he said, no, I think the mutual jeopardy makes me feel safer.
Yeah, which I think is great, but also if he were to predetermine it or preordain it, he's worried he'll get caught, obviously. So this is something for, safety precautions he's probably put in place for him forever. But he does get clocked for having an old stethoscope on him. That's he's like, dude, the things that you're bringing in are too old. Can you at least up your game? Because you are looking more and more suspicious with the things that you're bringing in.
Yep. But so everyone has their nightly tiny cup of blood, and it seems to be like a drug, heroin-esque when they take it. And then we have
I love this ritual. They're little glasses. They're beautiful, little flutes. Mm-hmm. Instead of just drinking straight from the jars or doing something like that. Each one of them, I don't know. I just love the cinematography in this movie, and so it's just each person kind of gets their own little feature of just consumption and what that means for them. And it does look like it's, like you said, heroin, reviving them and just calms them down. Their eyes kind of turn this yellowy color when they're hungry. And so, yeah, it's you can see them changing physically back as they ration their supply of the good stuff they all drink.
So Adam and Eve have a video call, and he says he's depressed, and so she says she will come see him. But
not just any video call. He's got a machine. She's like, do you have to do it through the contraption? She's on an iPhone, but he's like, hold on. Here's my little gadgets, all my little things. And he puts her on an old-timey TV that he has through his phone instead of the phone, using an old computer. He's created his own version of video conference.
Mm-hmm. So she's going to come see him, even though the traveling obviously is hard. They can only travel at night, and they can't eat anything there. So we get her love of books, and where she just packs books.
Yeah, that's the only thing she's going to bring because she doesn't really need much else, which is great. But watching her peruse and pour through, Tilda Swinton pouring through books, I think might be, is it a kink for me? Is it?
I would watch that whole channel if you just her browsing bookstores. That's
it.
Yep,
I'm good. Yeah, I think I've unlocked something right there. I think I absolutely would love to watch her just go through books. But it's in multiple languages. There are clearly books that are old and young from all around the world. You can tell she's checking different things.
Reading those things.
She's already read them all. You can already tell. She's just oh, this is what I want to bring. I want to go over this one again, or I want to bring this or she can check the date of the book and stuff like that too. Because that's one of her talents. You find out is she can touch things. I know exactly how old they are.
Is awesome power. I wish I had it. Super cool. But they have to wear gloves all the time because otherwise you're just touching everything.
And she's overwhelmed. Yeah.
So at least Ian Adams Renfield does get paid. I will say that.
Yeah, he gets money.
That's a bonus. Normally Renfield does not get paid. He does get him the wooden bullet, and he is practicing, but he can't do it. And Marlowe calls him a suicidally romantic scoundrel, perfect role model for Hamlet.
Yes, she's like, oh, I wish I'd known him before Hamlet. I wrote Hamlet. He would have been perfect. And it's oh my God, that's hilarious. And so Eve, chats with Marlowe, and I love their kind of tete-a-tete that they have, because she's like, why couldn't you have sprinkled more fun things throughout history about, who you are and all that kind of stuff? He's like, oh, I don't want to, rise any suspicion, but she's like, no one would know. It would just be delightful. But he, basically tells her to be careful on her trip, and he's like, I don't understand why you two don't live with each other. You guys are clearly in love and can't live without each other. But they've decided to, inhabit, cohabitate, but across the world from each other.
Yeah, I don't really understand why. I feel like they're so good together. It seems an obvious
maybe it's
choice.
Overwhelming.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I think I was surprised that we were never given the reason why, they live this part. Because why would you want to live apart from your soulmate? But they do get there and sleeping naked together. Beautiful, delicious
gorgeous shots.
So he basically is just going to take her driving around Detroit when it's empty and there's nobody there at night. That's kind of just what he does, is drive around.
That's what Detroit looks like at night. It's very, very, there's a lot of places that are been, decimated. And so it's interesting he exists in this place where it's shells, of buildings and things like that. And she exists in a place that seems filled with people and life and music and and whatnot. So I think that's part of the juxtaposition of why they live in different places. I think he wants that tortured artist life. That's kind of his whole thing, his whole life, or lifetimes, it seems like. And hers is not that. Hers is to be surrounded by things that give her energy and knowledge. That's not his thing.
Yeah, I can see that. And she does have some sort of fortune-telling abilities. It seems like she talks about Detroit, how it's going to like bloom again, and he's like, and she said, well, when the cities in the South are burning, this place will bloom. And you're like, she knows something that we don't know, but it's just chill.
Well, they're talking about, the cycles of climate, because she's lived longer. She's older than him. And so she has gone through, I think, more of like the destruction. She talks about that later, where she's gone through the plagues and like the Middle Ages and all that kind of stuff. And she remembers the Crusades, and she remembers like all these different other times of like destruction on the planet. This movie is also, I felt, really interesting to watch in the midst of our personal, like whatever our lives right now are, just, the what feels like apocalyptic in some ways, to hear someone talk about that, and like how people often realize too late, or once something is done, what we could have had. So I'm hopeful that people wake up. But they, go around town and play chess together. And
he shows her Jack White's house, and the Michigan Theater car park, which is beautiful. I like that they're playing chess, and she's trying to get knowledge out of him. What was it like hanging out with Byron? Tell me your stories.
Yes.
But also fixed up some blood popsicles, because I think it's great. Because I think Jim Jarmusch at one point was just like, hey, what if?
Like, why not?
Why not? So it gets many, many points for the blood popsicles, this film.
Delicious. A delightful treat for a vampire, if you will.
Now, the power goes out. He has his own Tesla-esque energy source that he has down in the basement that he's built himself. I mean, if you're hundreds of years old, that's the kind of cool, like, one of the reasons I would like to be a vampire is like, you have hundreds of years to learn how to do everything. It's not like I have 70 that I'm trying to cram everything in. If I have 700 years, I'm like, I'm going to learn how to do fucking everything.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And he has. And he, so much music he's consumed, and so much information he's learned, so much about just hearing little things or seeing different things. It's kind of beautiful. But he's also having dreams that someone is going to be coming back to see them, and that is Eve's little sister, Ava, who is a wild child played by Mia. I can never say her last name correctly.
Wasikowski?
Thank you.
Yeah, she's great. She is has the most life out of anybody in this movie. And I think Jim Jarmusch is fantastic, but my criticism of his directing is he always asks people to kind of tone it down. Like we were talking about Possession last week, right? Where you're like, crank it up as high as you can. He's like, take it down as low as you can.
Oh, I like that.
And that...
Because I need that.
But I feel like, for me, it gets frustrated because I see actors who I know can deliver bigger or harder, and he doesn't want that.
No.
And so the way he directs his actors is strange to me. But I think that feels like the only person in this movie who's not in a Jim Jarmusch movie, right? She's actually like doing, and I don't know.
Well, her and Ian, I think, are kind of counter and both kind of in that vibe,
right?
Like him even trying to be with the cool guys, like him trying to they're going to end up taking Ian out and meeting him at a club, and him trying to fit in and putting on his little sunglasses because they all have their sunglasses on at the club, and like I don't know, I find it delightful.
So they haven't seen each other in 87 years, and Adam does not like her. She did something in Paris that he's not happy about, and so she can't believe that he's still angry about this.
Like the Belle Epoque or some mayhem. Yeah, he can see he's not one to let things go. He could hold a grudge literally forever.
And they do say in it that it is bad luck to cross the threshold without being invited, but you can. They're dropping in the vampire lore here and there.
She's like, "Are you still afraid of garlic?" And went on to her sister, and she's like, "Oh, that's not a thing anymore." She's like, "No, I know, never really was."
And Eve does find before Ava shows up the gun that he has with the bullet, and asks him about it straight out, which is I like. And that when you're with someone so well, I feel like there is an honesty and straightforwardness.
Yeah.
And she pretends like she's going to do it. And he's like, no. So she's like, how do you think I would feel? But then she also can't understand. She's like, why wouldn't you want to be in this world when there's dancing? Every movie is better with a dance number. We do get a dance number in this movie. Tilda Swinton dancing it up. Little Tom Hiddleston dancing.
Just beautiful and flowing. And I think that's, that reminds me of like the Emma Goldman quote, I don't want to be a part of any revolution that doesn't involve dancing. It's like, I feel that... she's an aesthete. Like, she's constantly like, there are beautiful things in this world that we get to enjoy forever. that other people don't. Like, she's like basically telling him again and again, like, this is a freaking gift that we've been given. Like, even though there's, you know, obviously there's hard times about it, and we, you know, have to see the ebbs and flows of this world, but it does ebb and flow. And there's going to be, you know, beautiful high times, and there's going to be stuff that's going to be really, really difficult. And so they're really yin yang. I mean, that's why they have to, I think that's why they exist in other places, because, like, they really have a different perspective of how they see the world, even though they adore the shit out of each other.
Yeah, he's always in all black. She's usually in all white or tan or beige. You know, something. We have the visual yin yang for you as well. He doesn't even want to watch 70s French Soul Dracula. And you're like, your soul has been sucked if you don't want to watch that, because that looks incredible.
Right.
I want to watch that on loop the rest of my life. Never stop.
Done. Let's go, Julia. Okay. Sorry, guys, we gotta go. We gotta go. Just watch that forever.
70s French disco. Bye. So they do go to the club. Ian talks about how he had to sign an NDA to work for Adam, which is so cute.
And but the thing that drags him out of the thing, though, too, is he finds out, Ava tells Adam that they've been playing his music in clubs in LA. So he's like, he calls it Zombie Central. Any human to him is a zombie. He feels like that humans are just not, you know, there anymore, and they're zombies. And so she's like, no, I heard your music actually in LA. He's like, what? Wait, what? And so we find out that Ian has been maybe getting his music out to more places than maybe Adam wants.
But I don't know. I think Adam does want it, right?
Yeah.
I think he is doing what he wants.
Yeah.
He just wants to not have to do it himself. So he's like, let Ian do it, and then wherever it ends up, it ends up.
It's that conundrum of, like, wanting to have your art consumed and people enjoy it, but also wanting to be absolutely anonymous. And so...
Sure, but we have...
not be perceived, right?
We have two characters in the film doing that, right? We have Adam, who says he wrote things for Schubert, but didn't want the accolades for that, and then Marlowe, who is writing for Shakespeare, or it was stolen by Shakespeare. So you're having this thing where it's not... Your work is not being credited to you. Unfortunately, Ava gets a little bit overzealous, and she drains Ian and smash up the room and smashes his 1905 Gibson guitar, which is gorgeous, and I feel the pain.
It's pretty fucked up. She's reckless, and
I love her. I want her to spin off. It would just be chaos the whole time.
Oh, she infuriates me.
See,
I just want this meditation on these chill ass vampires. I love this, and that's what I think about this movie. It's like meditation for vampires. That's what I would call it. Do you know what I mean, though? Because it's like vampires walk home alone at night, whatever. It's like that's what it feels like from the top of the movie, and it lulls you in. I feel like it's just like, for me, it's very hypnotic. I freaking love.
And I feel like that's how they feel too, right? And then they're like, oh, she's messing up everything.
Yeah.
She's not get the vibe. And I'm interested that she's managed to stay alive for as long as she has, because she seems completely...
She's so reckless, but also because she can fight anything that comes after her. Like, she doesn't care if she's found out. She doesn't have the same care that they do. She's not trying to be in it for the long game. I think she almost is like, I dare you guys to come and get me and take me out of this. She's like, I'm stronger than, like, everything around me.
Yeah. And Adam does say, like, why couldn't she just have turned him? So we do another bit of vampire lore that you can turn or kill with your blood drinking. So they have to take poor Ian's body to an abandoned building and put him in some acid to put in. He immediately is a skeleton. And Eve says, that was certainly visual.
Yes, it was. So they dispose of the body. But we're also dealing with some fans that want to find Adam. And he is not about that fan life. That find his house, and nah.
So he always wanted, he was in this safe place, and now it's being infringed upon, so he decides he's going to go back with her to Morocco. But they are hurting bad, because it's a long flight with a stopover, eating nothing the whole time, and now they're like, she's like, it's fine though, we'll find Kit, he'll forget us, said it, no problem. But when they get to Marlowe's room, he is dying.
He's also in a bad way. He got some contaminated blood.
So now we know what happens if you get contaminated blood, why they're so specifically like, it has to be pure. So he has a sad death scene, and he dies, and she is crushed. But suddenly, Adam is transfixed by music. Something he hasn't really been transfixed by anything for quite some time.
Yeah. But also, anyway, the death was very sad. And Bilal, his partner, his Renfield, you know, who's also a writer, he's been, like, you can tell that Marlowe had been trying to impart his knowledge on him. Anyway, it's a very sweet kind of passing on of the information. But yeah, the lovers are hungry walking the city again when Adam stumbles upon this hot singer lady.
Yeah, and
singing.
And she Eve slips away and comes back with a beautiful instrument made for him. But they are now on the verge of death. So they're like, well, what happened? So they're laying there, clearly don't have much left, but hey, a couple appears, making out. And like the she says how fucking 15 centuries, like that's how long they haven't eaten somebody from like the source.
It's been a very long time, but they also, before that, they're talking about like the resources, and this is where they're going to get time to wax poetic, you know, about the world. And you know, the wars, and like he's like, what are the humans fighting over again? What is the human body made of? It's it water? Is it oil? What is, you know, like what are they fighting over still? And I don't know. Obviously, again, framework of 2025, which we are in right now, thinking about what are people fighting over, and the vampires have seen, you know, so much over the centuries that humans are warring over. But you can see that they are losing strength very, very quickly. But they do brighten up when they see this delicious, beautiful couple that they notice. We noticed you from across the way, and you look delicious.
Yeah. They're going to chomp them up, and that's the end. So I'm glad that they both survived. That makes me happy. I mean, how you survive this movie, I mean, as a human, staying away from people who seem like vampires, probably good.
Yeah, but they seem fucking cool. So you're going to want to hang out with them. I mean, Ian, it was like, the fact that that all the knowledge that Adam had, he was just like, oh my gosh, like, this guy is a guy you could touch anything. He'd be like, you already know what this is? Like, he thought he was getting him stuff. Like, all the instruments he brought to him. Like, he was like, he knew what it was before, as soon as he opened the case. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was like, how do you know? Like, he's already ahead of him.
As a vampire, try to be mindful of contaminated blood. Seems to be.
That's the Achilles heel here,
It doesn't seem like there's anybody hunting them or anything like that, so they seem to be okay.
They should probably have gone hunting, is what the deal is, too. Probably more often, but I don't know how that affects them, if it makes them more insatiable.
I mean, they only need that tiny little cup.
I think they need more. Sure. I think they've been subsisting, because the way that they are existing at the beginning of the film, they seem lethargic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Though, even when they're consuming, once they're done, it still doesn't seem like it's quite. They've been fasting for 500 years. Do you know what I mean? That was basically what it feels like.
So, would you gore factor for me,
I would
please?
love to gore you. 1, not enough blood to fill a Dixie cup. 2, a puddle of blood. 3, enough blood to gross out the average viewer. 4, a bathtub of blood. And 5 is run for the barf bag. We think this is a 3. It's not crazy bloody, but, you know, we got little cups of blood. And we've got little blood on the sides of mouths. And, you know, poor little Ian. Poor Ian. Guy. Blood on his little neck.
Oh, so movie ratings: Chainsaws 1, if you're desperate. 2, barely qualifies as a horror film. 3, seen worse, seen better. 4, not too shabby. 5, fantasticorical. And for me, this is a 4.5.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic, but I have the Jarmusch thing that I'm just like,
That's you.
That's me.
It's a 5 for me. I fucking love it. Again, meditation with vampires. I love the production design in their rooms. Just like the thought of what would it look like if you were ancient and you literally had, you know, your hands on all these things. The technology in Adam's room and his space and his home, even though the toilet doesn't work.
Well, I don't think they have to use it.
He doesn't need it. Yeah, because he doesn't need it. You know, just so many, I don't know, I just liked all the thought that went into all of his stuff.
Definitely. I think he's an incredible filmmaker, and it is one of those things where, like, I can see what his brilliance, but for me it doesn't quite click, and it's always been that way, and I feel bad when you know.
You
but
like big, bold performances.
I do.
And I love it all. I like the range, and I love it when it's a little bit smaller, and this was one of those ones where I'm used to seeing Tilda be crazy, and I kind of loved that she was another color of herself in this one that I'm not used to seeing from her. Like, it's like, double feature this with, like, Suspiria or some shit. Do you know what I mean, though? And, like, see, like, wind her up, keep going, you know?
So thank you so much for listening to us talk today. If you would like to talk to us, we would love to hear from you. If movies that you would like us to cover, we are on all of the things.
Oh my God, so many things. The internet's all over the interwebs. You can also check out our Patreon, check out our Teespring, get some freaking merch, suit yourself up, get ready. You can also listen to Julia. She's got a couple other shows. There's Amazing Losers Club, The Loser Club, all about Stephen King, and then Jodorowsky, all about the genius of Alejandro Jodorowsky, one of the coolest cats on the planet. If you aren't already following him on Instagram, highly recommend. Every Sunday he has like 10 thoughts. And if you're an artist or somebody who's artistically minded, which should be all of you if you're listening to this, check it out. He always has really great, beautiful words of advice and just thoughts. Made me feel about like what the people from this movie would probably be into. They would probably love following his little thoughts every week. I imagine.
I hope that Jodorowsky becomes a vampire and lives forever because he needs to.
That would be incredible if he isn't already. That would be so great. That would be so great.
We also do a show with the George A. Romero Foundation called Horror X, where we talk to women and femmes in horror about their careers.
And their love of horror. So we'll get into it. There's a whole back catalog on YouTube that you can check out. What else? Oh yeah, the GARF Network, George A. Romero Foundation is what it stands for on YouTube. Thanks so much.
We'll see you next time.
Oh my god, long days and pleasant nights.
Yeah.
Woo!